Welcome back, everybody, to Ready, Aim, Live. I'm Jose.
And I'm Wes.
And I'm Tyler.
And before we get started today, I just want to say that our thoughts and prayers go out to all the families that were involved in the Cabal terrorist attack that happened over this past week. Our deepest sympathies go out to you guys, and we're really sorry that these things are happening, and we're really hoping for the safe return of all the Americans that are in Cabal right now. And the reason that we have Tyler here is to go ahead and go over some of the bug out bags that we actually have made and actually use. But he is more inclined on a lot of the items that we actually use in the packs and knows a lot of the information that goes into the packs that he actually uses and that we all have tried to work our way around.
He's definitely got the best pack, I think.
Yep.
He knows what he's talking about. You know, we're not going to claim him as an expert. He's the one to have that title, but he knows what he's talking about. So one of our biggest things, though, is, there's so many different types, like, bug out bags and, survival bags. So, like, we're just kind of covering bug out bags today. And then we do want to get, later on down the road, more episodes, get really more in deep with different types of bags and different things that you want in those bags. Today, we're going to go over the bug out bag. And Tyler, you want to get us started on this?
Yeah, man. So I just want to go ahead and start off and say the whole concept of a bug out bag is unique to each person. But I think we all kind of agree that there's a couple things that no matter what, no matter your comfort level, no matter what you need, just the basics of a bug out bag kind of revolve around just 5 things.
Yeah.
So as far as what you should have beyond these 5 things, it's all going to be subjective. Mm-hmm. It's going to be to your comfort level. It's going to be what you feel like you want to carry. If you want to carry 17 bags of luggage through the woods,
it's carry-on only, and you're just way too much luggage.
Shut up, Doug.
As long as you can do it quietly and keep up, I'm all about it. But for the most part, we all agree on 5 different things, the 5 main points we have, and that's food, water, some way or air and shelter. And it kind of goes so deep onto each one. We can kind of knock them out one by one.
Yeah. Food, obviously you want food rations that are going to last you at least 3 days. That is about the minimum that that everyone says you should have, is about 3 days worth of food, just in case anything were to happen. You're out there and you're going to have food to survive off of, but you have to have rations and portions, because like you said, you don't want to carry 17 bags in the woods,
right.
Or wherever you're going. So you have to make sure you're smart about it and know what you're packing, know what this is going to do, and even bring in a little bit of extra food just in case if someone feels like they're getting too tired because they need food, that lack of nutrition, having that extra little bit of food. Or if you're helping somebody else along the way that you have found, you'll be able to give an extra portion out to help somebody else. You can still do that too. But like he said, it's all personal preference. Next thing, Wes, you want to go into water?
Yeah, water is a really big thing. A lot of people, they do pack their own water, but you can never really know exactly how you're going to be prepared in the woods. You may think that you have enough, but you have to have ways to be able to gather water and also be able to sanitize that water and purify it. Right, so that would go into some iodine tablets, and also boiling the water, having a way to boil the water so that you have in some regards, an endless supply of water, so that you will not go and get dehydration while in the woods, and that'll lead to a very quick camping trip.
Yeah, being self-sufficient out in the field is huge, and I think, I just want to jump back to food right quick. Even though you have the portions that you put in your backpack to get you through 3 days or so, your stay, in a bug out situation, you could be locked up for 5 days. Mm-hmm. So what we do is we keep fishing line, we keep hooks, sinkers, ways to procure food, a slingshot for a squirrel at least, or something like that. Being able to sustain yourself beyond your rations, and I think is a huge deal. Yeah. Because if you can last longer than 3 days, that's great. Yeah. You don't really know everything that you're going to come into. And also with food too, like I carry rice in my pack. So in a bad situation, I can take clean water and make me something to put in my stomach. High calorie foods out in the field, like peanuts. Peanuts are awesome. You'd be surprised what a handful of peanuts can do for you.
Yep.
And beyond that, beef jerky. beef jerky because I keep traps in my pack too.
Mm-hmm.
That's just another way to procure food.
Yeah.
You know, so having beef jerky on hand is not only, you know, big calories for me in the moment, energy, but it's also a way to bait a trap in a situation where I could use it, or, you know, for fishing or something like that.
And then we can go into air. You know, you want to have a lot of air can have contamination in it, so you need to have ways to, you know, not necessarily a gas mask, but, you know, it's up, like you said, it's up to the person. If you want a gas mask, you can have a gas mask, but different other ways, you know, natural and man-made ways of, you know, procuring clean air, fresh air, because there could be toxins in the air.
Yeah.
And going into the next topic, one of the big things is shelter. Like, it's something that some people think about, but they don't go as far depth as we are going to go right now. So having a tent or a tarp or some sort of survival blanket that's going to keep you warm even if it gets down into, you know, very chilly temperatures, and also something to, you know, keep you some way off the ground, because you never know what's going to be in the woods. You know, there's plenty of snakes and bugs, and you know, there's plenty of things that could end up on you that could cause an allergic reaction, or could cause you, you know, you get bit by a snake and you're in the middle of the woods. You know, what are you going to do to be able to, you know, help yourself? You may be, you know, super far away from a hospital. That's not going to be an ideal situation. So getting yourself off the ground and actually having, you know, some way to shelter yourself from the harsh weather conditions. You know, like we have a video on YouTube right now of a COVID cure hammock, and that's a very good way to keep yourself, you know, off the ground, and also has a cover that can keep you, you know, dry, you know, even if it rained.
And not too much to carry either.
Yeah,
Like,
it's super light.
Very light.
being able to tuck yourself away from inclement conditions is huge. Like me and Chris were talking about it the other day. Extremes one way or the other. Like we walk out of our house so we can go, it's cold or it's hot. But when you're cold and you're wet, it's to the extreme.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that, to be able to get yourself back down to normal can cause your body to come back out of shock. You know, it's having somewhere just to tuck away is a huge morale booster out in the woods. And then beyond that, like I also, in my packs I go by the duplicate rule. It's something that I've heard for forever, you know, watching YouTube videos and stuff like that. If you have two, you have one. If you have one, you have none. And then I even go beyond that, you know, like iodine tablets. I'll pack what I need for myself plus somebody else, you know. And even to expand on that even further, like you have to think about the people who are in your group. Like,
Yes, sir.
if Jose has weak ankles,
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
it'd be wise to carry an extra ace bandage or something. Our friend Daniel, he comes out in the woods almost every time we go. He's diabetic. So I know that he carries extra stuff in his pack to help him through. But I know because 90% of the time that Daniel's with us, I also keep stuff in my pack. Just cover your bases. Redundancy is through and through. There shouldn't be, like in any pouch on my pack, you can go through and you can find a lighter or a pocket knife. And all that does is just keep you prepared for anything. Like in a really bad situation, you're cold and you're trying to get a fire started right away, taking your whole pack apart. Like, grab that pack, Wes. When you're cold and you're not doing so well, to have to unpack this right here to get fire starting material is ridiculous. Your fine motor skills go away. You don't think clearly. Being able to go, there's a lighter, saves so much time and energy. And like, I know I'm into the bushcraft part of it, so like I like hitting flints and steels. But sometimes taking a lighter is just, it's just the way to go.
Well,
But-
you also got to think about like your own body weight. Like when you're carrying a pack like this, one of the golden rules is not to have more than 15% of your own body weight that you're actually carrying through the woods. Because as you can see, this pack is extremely heavy. So
Yeah.
even for somebody like us, it's still going to be heavy and very hard to trek through the woods with something and still be quiet, having this big old bag everywhere.
I know. Hey, I even got another one here it's nowhere near as heavy, but it's still got plenty of room where you can put a lot of things in and stuff like that. But nowhere near. You can see that this one's way, way lighter than that pack. So there's just different. It's like you said in the beginning. It's all preference. Everything is preference on what you feel comfortable with. It's just a matter of making sure you have everything you actually need.
Everybody's bags vary. So we even got a smaller one.
Nobody's bag should be the same either. Everything should be tailored to that person, your comfort level. If you're a badass and you can carry 500 pounds on your back, amen. You're probably only going to make it 100 yards from where you're bugged out from.
Yeah.
But if you can do it, man, you can do it. There's nothing saying that there's a right way or a wrong way. It all comes down to your basic comfort level, your skill level, your confidence in the field, and how you think the situation is going to go. Like we talked about the air mask. You could be bugging out in a hazardous condition where there's chemicals in the air, and having something just as simple as a smog or something just to cover your face, just to get you through that time period, will help you later on down the road. Keeping organized also in your packs, man, saves you so much time. Like if you take that pack apart right there, there's a pack for food procurement. There's a pack for fire making. There's a pack for this. There's a pack for that. Everything's segregated into its own little patch, and all that does is save time. 90% of the time, you need something in your pack in the middle of the night. You got to get your flashlight. You're trying to hold your flashlight. You're trying to get in your pack. It's just easier to go, it's right there. Saves time. It makes your time efficient in the woods. Nobody wants to spend 3 hours making a fire when you're going camping for the weekend. That's not fun, and it's not efficient, and it wastes your time. Time is energy, and in the field, that is so important. So
And that's a
important.
perfect little segue into some of the more videos that we're going to go in depth with some of these bags and actually show a lot of the fundamental items that are actually in the bag and makes up the bag, and show the organization that actually happened. You know, even this super big bag is organized to a certain extent of what pouches have what, especially with, you know, having Daniel be diabetic. You want to know exactly where the things are, and we can't wait to actually be able to break down all these bags and show you compartment by compartment what is in each one.
And you know, one thing I want to touch base on, you know, I don't know if a lot of viewers even know about, but like the gray man theory. You
Right.
know, what can you tell them about the gray man theory? Because it's definitely something that I agree with. But like I said, I feel like a lot of viewers might not know a bunch about the gray man theory.
So I've kind of heard it for a while now, and I kind of agree with the basis. There's certain times where you might be bugging out in a rural area and you have camouflage on. In a rural area, somebody to have camouflage on, it's not out of the ordinary, you know. But if you're walking through a big old city and you're wearing straight fatigues and you got a tactical backpack on with an AR-15 hanging out of the back, you're going to draw some unwanted attention. You may be prepared to the sixes, but that doesn't mean that two other people who are half as prepared can take that from you. So sometimes it's better to be just a shadow in the background. Sometimes it's better just to sneak through. Sometimes it's better to be, you know, not a target to anybody.
Yeah, blend in.
Out of sight, out of mind. And we kind of do that. You know, like that pack, that's more of a camel desert looking kind of backpack. It's more tactical looking. That one could be, you know, a camping pack or something, or a hiking pack or something.
Yeah.
And I've seen videos where guys even go as far as putting it in an Elmo backpack. You know, nobody's going to think that the best survival, you know, things are in an Elmo backpack in the middle of apocalypse or something, you know, or any situation like that. But
What's one thing that you feel that a lot of people, when they make their bags, bug out bags, even survival bags, because they can go hand in hand, big time. What's one thing that you feel like a lot of people forget to put in those bags?
So I've never been in a bug out situation, so I don't know what it's like to go out in the woods and be in any other situation than looking for fun, you know. So, but even when you're out for fun anyways and you're just hanging out with the guys, bringing cards or something, like I can only imagine being in a bad situation and then having to sit there in it, you know.
Yeah.
So I've seen like the deck of cards has also got the survival facts on the back.
Yeah.
That's two birds with one stone. You can sit there and play Go Fish and also figure out how you're going to eat later. You know, redundancy is key. It's one of those things.
So what's something, you know, there's plenty, like you said, there's plenty of videos out there. What's something that you see that people put in their bag that you really wish that, yes, people can personalize their bags and they can put whatever they want. What's something that you see that maybe you really wish people would kind of shy away from putting in their bag?
I think I'm pretty old school. Everything I have either works off of gas or coal. You know, electronics in the woods kind of scare me, only because of how far I've gotten along. I've never used anything like that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of on me. But I also think that too much technology could hinder you. If you become too reliant on a GPS in the woods, you'll never learn how to get out of the woods without it.
Yeah.
If you become too reliant on a radio station for your information, then you'll never go beyond that. Sometimes the tools that we have can restrict us, and if we rely on something that's only operates on a battery without any way to charge it or something, could be huge. You could be in the middle of the woods thinking that you're over this next hill right here is where you're going, but really you're 30 miles off because the GPS died 15 miles away.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I try to make, me personally, I don't want anything that operates on batteries. I don't want anything that operates on a signal, anything like that, because that's not going to be there in a proper scenario of a bug out situation or something, EMP attack where there is no electronics. So everything that's super new and fancy that you just packed in your pack means nothing.
Yeah.
And you're carrying around paperweights.
Such a great point. I love it. I love the, even for me, that's such an eye-opening thing to really think about. Like, going in and looking at my pack, it would be, man, I really need to step up my game of taking some of those battery-powered, items out of there and sticking to something that I know I can use, regardless of, what situation I'm in, if I am stuck in the woods for more than, 3 days. So
yeah, I love the idea of solar power, just because it's the natural source. And we're talking about you want to use things that you can use natural resources with. When it comes to procuring water and stuff, you want natural lake water and all that. Or we're talking about air, anything to make your air more fresh. But going into the electronics part of things, some things are efficient to have, and you don't need it at night, like lanterns. They even have those little pop-up lanterns, like something like that, just to have a little bit of light when you are at night, that it can charge during the day, that sunlight's hitting it, and you're going to have it throughout the night. That's just another thing. You got to kind of prepare for these type of things, like weather, how we talked about weather, preparing for any harsh environment that you might be in. We're in Florida. I'm not going to carry a big, huge blanket to keep me warm, even if it is a Florida winter, which is really not that cold still. I'd still, a lighter blanket would be perfect for something like that. But, up north, all our viewers up north, you guys, the snow and everything up there, I can only imagine the extra type of things that you would have to put in your packs. And that's one thing we do want to know is, what all do you guys put in your packs that you think that maybe, we didn't cover, or maybe other people you feel don't put in their packs that you think is important? We want to know, especially like I said, up north. I want to know what you guys do, how many heat-related things that you actually have to bring, thermocells and stuff like that. I can only imagine the extra weight.
Well, guys, we really appreciate you guys watching the video. Give us some feedback on YouTube, on the video. Like it, share it, subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and we want to thank Tyler for coming on here and giving us some information, giving us some eye-opening ideas, giving you guys some of the ideas that he has in his packs. And as always, we really appreciate everything. We'll see you guys next time. And always remember, guys,
Who's got your six?